Okay, the drought in California and Oregon continues because of the daily use of the Haarp transmitters and chemtrailing. And I'm going to show you what they're doing today in great detail. This is the Goes West satellite in visible light mode, and we can see some tiny chemtrails here. Let me show you those up close. But you just cannot see them in visible light very much at all. So let's go to the water vapor mode and have a look at that. Again, this is a loop. Sorry, what is happening here? This is a loop in the Jetstream, and they're chemtrailing here all through this area. And that's being done for several different reasons, and the drought in California is something like reason number 8. The primary reason is to stop this. We can see a little bit of counterclockwise movement. They want to stop this from building into a low pressure. And the reason is because they are using both Haarp transmitters to maintain a high pressure right here off of California. In fact, in water vapor mode, we can actually see this Haarp downburst, this circular area of expanding dry air. Okay, this is right here off of California. And in fact, that has been there since yesterday. If I go to yesterday's Jetstream pressure map, whoops, I have to go down here, here. Okay, this May 13th, yesterday, and 300 millibar, which means the upper Jetstream. We see this odd thing right here. Here's a high pressure right next to a low pressure. How many times do you see that on a weather map? Never. So this high pressure is being created by the Jetstream, by the Haarp transmitter. They heat the ionosphere 50 to 100 miles high, and it's so fast and so sudden, it's like a balloon popping, and it presses air down to the upper Jetstream, where it's actually, we can see it in the satellite map as this dark area. That's the dry air from a loft being pressed down. Okay, and that is not natural. That is being done by the Haarp transmitter. The primary purpose of this is to keep this high pressure pinned right here. And what they're going to do with it is they're going to melt the Arctic methane. Let me stop this when it's at 0, meaning 0 hindcast means the present. Now here's this high pressure that's pinned here, and they want to maintain this low pressure here. This is actually a high pressure because it's clockwise flow. They want to maintain this high pressure system here, and they pin it here. It's already been pinned there for about 4 days. So we step through, notice it doesn't move. Okay, so this is now 2 days ahead. They managed to hold it there for 2 more days. Now what has happened to the Jetstream up here in Alaska? Sorry, I went too far. We can see now up in Siberia and central Alaska, there's warm air being dragged from Asia. And now we step again, even more warm air, and now it gets really ugly. By pinning the Jetstream here, that forces the Jetstream to fold. And by 24 hours from now, which would be May 15th, we have this warm air from Asia being pushed well into the Arctic Circle, melting the northern coast of Alaska, and the high winds will break up the ice. Now when this happens, the shallow East Siberian Arctic Sea has 5,000 billion tons of methane, and only 100 to 200 feet deep, sealed by frozen sediments. So by pinning the high pressure here, they can drive warm air into Alaska. And this will be doomsday for planet Earth. And meanwhile, we see small effects like drought, lots of chemtrail spraying, our wells going dry, the banks taking the land. But Alaska sees, this is the current Alaska temperature at daybreak, and you know, it's a high of 57, but it's going to be 70 degrees in central Alaska tomorrow in the afternoon, and it's going to be well over freezing on the north coast and into the Arctic, well into the Arctic Sea. So I just cannot emphasize, this is doomsday for planet Earth. This is doomsday. And the U.S. military needs to jump onto this and take control of the Gakona transmitter, because this thing can be reprogrammed. Instead of driving warm air into the Arctic to melt the 5,000 gigatons, and that's just for starters. After the permafrost melts, it's much more than 5,000 gigatons. But the Haarp transmitter can be reprogrammed to keep the warm air out, and then all the chemtrail planes will be used in the Arctic this summer to try to shade the ice to keep it from melting. But if anybody can explain how you get a pressure map that has a high pressure right next to a low pressure, granted the barometric pressure is not very great, 9591, 9568, but whoever did the pressure map felt it was significant enough to label it. And we can actually look at the next. Okay, this is 500 millibar, which is the lower jet stream. And notice they don't show it here. Only in the upper jet stream, where the Haarp actually has direct action, is this high pressure shown. And at sea level, there's nothing notable at all. No pressure gradient, very calm. No high pressure, no low pressure, nothing. So that is a curious thing, and also it's visible in the eastern maps. They also showed it on this map, which is, oh, I'm sorry, that's, okay, this is today's map. So here's this artificial high pressure, and they're again showing the low pressure. So, I don't know what to say, folks, but this is the end of planet Earth. This is the end of human existence. If this continues, it's not just about drought anymore. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to add that one thing that they are additionally accomplishing by chemtrailing a large area overnight is this is now a reflector surface. This is a reflector surface for the Gakona Haarp, which is 3 billion watts, to bounce the energy off this layer and then heat this little spot here. 3 billion watts of heating is producing this expanding circle of dry air. And again, as I've said before, the reflector surface should be midway between the target and the transmitter. And look, it's exactly midway. Because this little Haarp down here, it's not powerful enough to maintain this high pressure. Because Mother Nature is trying to make a low pressure here and bring it into California and drench everything in rain. That's what Mother Nature wants. Mother Nature wants to preserve the life on planet Earth, whereas the people, or whatever they are, running the Haarp program are contrary to the interests of Mother Earth and all the species living on the surface of planet Earth. Okay? So, this chemtrailing is a complex issue, but it's completely antithetical to life on planet Earth, and it is heating planet Earth dramatically, and it is actually a doomsday concoction that will, I really think that in 30 years there will be basically no humans left. And once this Arctic methane melts, this will drive other desperate acts that will actually not prevent mankind's extinction, but will accelerate it. So this is like the end point of stage 1 in this process. We've got to stop this. And once you stop the chemtrails on the Haarp, the United States, the western half of the United States, will be drenched in rain every couple of days. There will be a huge increase in precipitation and an increase in plant growth, which will then sequester carbon in the soil in the form of organic matter. And that is the best thing we can do for planet Earth right now. And the U.S. military's got to step up and take control of this situation. This is the most grievous national security hazard. But we've got to let Mother Nature have an opportunity for the normal homeostasis systems of equilibrium to adjust to this and remove this carbon from the atmosphere. Meanwhile, of course, we bring out the lower energy nuclear technologies and the Tesla technologies from the 1920s. We can still save our planet, but we've got to step up right now and stop this. Okay, thanks for watching. Please forward this. This is the most important information on planet Earth right now, in my opinion. If anybody has any other opinions, I'd be very happy to hear it. Thanks a lot.